Everyone, how are you doing today? Just come for my WWE Payback 2015 review video. I got my notes here, as you can see. Of course, I didn't get in here. I had something I wrote down here. Train of thought I was on earlier about Rusev and Cena. Something I was thinking about Rusev and Cena. And I wrote, if Rusev loses, it does not fit his character to go back to losing or jobbing for much of the time. Rusev needs to be a super heel. He does not need to come back. I mean, if he lost, I'm not saying if he did or not. This is just before Rusev is a super heel. He can't just go back to mid-card and losing or winning, or if he wins, that's fine. But I mean, if he can't go back to the mid-card and just job. I think it fits his character more to where if he kayfabe went back to Russia to start training and preparing to come back, it would probably mean more to his character if he were to go, like, say, back to Russia and train instead of just staying in the WWE, fighting and wrestling. All of a sudden he comes back with a thing. I don't know if they're gonna keep continuing with Cena. I mean, they said that was the last match between the two of them, so whatever they're gonna have with Rusev now. But I think it would be pretty cool if he went back to the motherland, and that way it gives Lana some time to be face too. If he splits from her, it gives her time to do whatever she needs to do, and then he's off in Russia doing training, preparing, or whatever. Stalin called him back to Russia. He needs him in Russia. Whatever they concoct up. But I just thought that was a pretty cool idea. First match was a bonus match, and this is why I didn't really do a preview video, because I didn't really know all the matches that were there. It seemed to me that they were going to throw a couple curveballs in there, so I really just decided not to do one. I had notes from Raw and everything too. I was going to upload a Raw review and then a predictions video, but I decided against it. Anyway, Stardust came out and ABL made the joke, oh, he looks like some guy from the Hunger Games and blah 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 blah. He looks like a person or young kid out of the Hunger Games. That was his little joke for Stardust. ABL, you need some comic books in your life, bud. Because if anything, Stardust looks like Mr. Sinister on X-Men. He totally has the whole cape back thing for Mr. Sinister. You gotta take a look at Mr. Sinister and then take a look at Stardust. Jerry the King Lawler there, he could help you out with a comic book or two. He writes comics, or draws comics or whatever, but he could help you out with a comic. You need some X-Men in your life, bud. But R-Truth won that one. Pretty typical match. Typical match, nothing worth noting, for me at least anyway. Thing that came was a promo for a Stone Cold Steve Austin interview. Everybody flipped their shit the last two times Chris Jericho was doing the interviews on the WWE Network. Oh, Stone Cold, he's in outs with the company, he really messed up the last time he did it. He went off the rails and he was asking all the wrong questions, and the company had backlash against him and this and that. But that wasn't the case, because obviously he's coming back and doing another promo. I thought it was that way the whole time. Just give other, bigger legend wrestlers more time to do more podcasts. Stone Cold, Chris Jericho, who's it, what's it, whatever, you know what I mean? They'll do their podcast or whatever, and then they would have different people doing podcast type interviews on the show. But he's going to be doing an interview with Paul Heyman. I thought it was going to, but yeah, I thought that was pretty worth noting. I haven't seen the ending. The Ascension won. That's who they wrestled. I'm sorry, I didn't notice that, but they won. But the Mega Power, the Minor Powers, the Mega Powers, the Meta Powers, whatever, they still looked good. Well, the tension looks strong. Hopefully, they're coming back up, slowly working their way back up to what they were in NXT. And I really hope that their little losing streak is over, because they really are a fantastic tag team. And whatever they've been trying to do since they've come is like have some nuclear heat by totally trashing the legendary tag teams of old. But a lot of people don't understand the works. And I'm not trying to be a super mark or whatever and say, oh, you don't understand, but I understand, and whatever. No, I'm just saying they're going for the cheap heat. They're going for the, the heat that's right out there to be the heel tag team, and it's really chopping a lot of asses. But I noticed one thing that I'm thinking it was probably because it was the the pre-show. There wasn't a lot of signs. But then again, there was a lot of empty seats too, so maybe a lot of people actually skipped the show. I don't know. I do know someone that was there, but I don't know. Like I said, they looked like there wasn't a lot of signs in general. But next match was Sheamus versus Ziggler. Ziggler finally got his redemption and made Sheamus kiss his arse by physically. He was in the corner and he hiked up his shorts and rubbed his ass on Sheamus there. The match was a very close match. It was a very good match. And about at the end of that match, there was a headbutt from Sheamus to Ziggler, and he really got Ziggler. Ziggler was busted open so bad he was almost wearing the Crimson Mask, So I think they kind of hurried up and finished that match right off the bat there, and they really didn't show too much of his face in that. They did a couple times, but they didn't linger on it or whatever. But one thing I did note was they banned the curb stomp because it was a dangerous move, and they got WWE has concussion lawsuits going on right now, so they wanted to keep that off of TV, until everything's settled with the concussion things. But if they're going to ban the curb stomp, then you would think they already busted Daniel Bryan open with that headshot, that same move, and Daniel Bryan still is wearing a scar from that. You could see when he was talking about his health in the Intercontinental Championship and the future of his career, he is still wearing a pretty gnarly scar there. So, and then like I said, Sheamus, he busted open Ziggler again. So if I bet you that move is going to be banned next. You mark my words, because if they ban the curb stomp and this move's already busted open two people, unless it's their own doing, unless it's WWE's doing, I see him banning it. But the second one, the next match up here was, we're in the Payback. This is the main pay-per-view. The first match here is New Day versus the Uppercat, Cesaro and Tyson Kidd. I had noted here that the New Day is the internet personified. They come out and they just they spew the memes, man. They got different memes going on and different internet jokes, internet heavy jokes that they make. Got him. It's like back in the day when they first said they had the whole do it for the day. So it's like, if it's not internet, it's like they're very Vine centric. I thought that was pretty funny. Cesaro and Tyson Kidd came out. They had some new ring gear on, and I noticed that Cesaro had a windbreaker on, but it came up to right here. But he had the black towel over his head like this, and he was doing the whole. I thought, man, this guy, that's pretty awesome. Was he trying to be Rain from Mortal Kombat, the purple ninja? They have Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Reptile, and that. But and they have Rain, of course, like I said. But Cesaro, he's a gamer. He's a nerdy guy, so I caught that little nod to Rain there, so I just wanted to let you know that too. It was a 2 out of 3 fall match, you know, each team getting a pin, and the New Day did win. Xavier Woods, after the Uppercats won their first thing there, their first fall, he was saying he wanted the Freebird rule, which means one goes out and he goes in fresh. But the ref wouldn't allow that, but he did end up sneaking in and getting the pin illegally. He was not a part of the match, but he did end up getting a part of that. And next match up here was Bray Wyatt and Ryback. Had to say, when I was watching the promo, that the music, whatever it was, I think it was Imagine Dragons or whatever, but whatever it was, it really fit the theme they were going for. It was a pretty physical match with that they're gonna play off whatever CM Punk said, and just put Ryback in these better matches with the more spots in that, just to say, you know, he's a shit talker or whatever, or if he really wasn't a dangerous worker, we'll never know. I mean, he was in some pretty decent spots in these matches. I mean, he's been doing he did a remove off the top rope, which, you know, you don't really usually see Ryback off the top rope, but different over the ring, over the ropes dives and stuff like that. Either, like I said, either WWE's completely playing him off by putting him in the more upper matches and this and that, and saying he was a shit talker, or he really was never a bad wrestler. But I'm a CM Punk fan, so I really don't know what to say about that. I'm not going to speculate on whether CM Punk was a little just angry. I never worked with Ryback, I couldn't tell you. I'm not a wrestler, you know. But I just wanted to note that he seems to be put in a lot of physical matches. WWE must have some kind of faith in him to not screw up and screw somebody up, or, you know, end somebody's career. But Wyatt won that versus Bray Wyatt exposed the turnbuckle, knocked him in the turnbuckle, Ryback in the turnbuckle, and finished him off with his sister Abigail. Bray Wyatt won that. Next up, they had a funny, like a Home Shopping Network Money in the Bank promo. One thing I noted here was, every time Cena comes out now, the John Cena sucks. John Cena sucks. That was like a Europe thing, you know. He only usually got that over in Europe. But our crowd in the US started doing that after a while, and now it's just become a thing. But that was just a small thing years back. You didn't really hear too much of that, but I thought that was pretty cool. This was one thing I noted here. I'm sorry. One thing I noted here was there's too much asking between the referee and the wrestler. Are you gonna quit? And then he did a spot. Are you gonna quit? No. Are you gonna quit? No. He did another thing, and then they came back. Are you gonna quit? It was like, man, he must have asked him at least 20 times. The referee must have asked John Cena like 20 times in the first 20 minutes. Are you gonna quit? Are you gonna quit here? But I thought that was pretty weird, and too much. Something I had noted here. If they want to do a harder version of I quit, would be if you ask a guy, do you want to quit? You should have to wait so many minutes before asking him again. And then if you wanted to make more rules for the I Quit match to make it even harder, it was, I wrote another rule down here. So if you don't respond or can't respond, it deducts the time away from asking your opponent if they want to quit. Like, say you cannot respond, or you passed out, you know, because John Cena had passed out in the match, and Rusev revived him. But say that happens, then when you go to ask him to quit, it would be so much time before the referee would actually say, "Are you ready to quit?" So he just ask him, and you would wait, I don't know, say 5-10 seconds, then ask him. But there's some awesome shots in the I Quit match between John Cena and Rusev. But eventually Lana had quit for Rusev. Rusev had taken apart the turnbuckle and was going to use it on Cena, who had turned it around on him and did the STF with the rope on his face that he quits. But the next one was the Bellas versus Naomi and Tamina. It was a decent back and forth match, but Naomi and Tamina won decisively. The next up was Rusev. He was bitching at Lana. That I don't know really what he was saying, but I would imagine it's, he cost her the championship, but he said, you need to get out of here, and you need to get out of here, and so she ended up leaving the dressing room and leaving Rusev alone. Now the next match was Neville and Barrett. It was a pretty good match. One thing I noted here is Neville always looks dumbfounded whenever he hits a move, and then the guy's laying there and he can go for the red arrow. I thought pretty funny. He always looked a little dumbfounded. It's had some awesome divings. One thing I noted here is the match ended in a count out where Neville won because Barrett, he waited outside the whole 10 count, but I thought that in a count out, if you got on the apron, it automatically broke the count. So he got on the apron and then they count 9, 10. I thought that was pretty weird. I didn't know, I thought that if you got on their apron, at least stop. I guess you have to go through the ropes, but it was still pretty weird. He got up there and it was a 9-10. And then after the match, Barrett attacked Neville, but Neville got off of his groggy and hit Barrett with a really awesome German suplex and a red arrow. Another thing here I have noted after the Neville versus Barrett match was, oh my god, they really are trying to freaking get everybody to watch that Tough Enough. Oh man, they showed that so many times. They keep showing the same video package like 3, 4, 4, 5 times. And it's like, okay, we get it. You don't have to keep showing it. I think they aired a lot of different stuff like that, and then they aired Daniel Bryan's health. I think they spend a lot of time trying to promote different things like the Tough Enough, so that way they could fill a whole 3 hours. I mean, if you're going to have 2 pay-per-views in 1 month, you might as well just made this one 2 hours and, kept it short and just kept it, a not so full match. If you're going to have 2 matches, I mean, it's still going to be your money's worth because it's going to be 2 pay-per-views. So they could have just kept this, ongoing feuds, and considering it is Payback, they could have just kept these just the matches that were there. But the next up was Rollins versus Ambrose versus Reigns versus Orton, a fatal 4-way for the heavyweight championship. One thing I noted is, before I tell you who won, one thing I noticed is I could see Rollins lose and then go on to feud with a masked Kane, but as I'm about to tell you, that doesn't exactly pan out. But like I said, that was just my thought before I had known who won, that if Rollins had lost, I could see him going back and forth. But, actually, I still could see him going back and forth right now with Kane and that. They'll have to have something for Rollins to do during Money in the Bank, unless they have a match. But, something to come up will probably be him and Kane. But it was an awesome match, awesome pace to the match. With Kane, he chose to help Rollins, he helped him for the most part. Something really awesome happened was the Shield, they teased the Shield. They didn't, Rollins, Reigns, and Ambrose, they put Orton on their shoulders and triple powerbombed him through the announce table. And then Seth Rollins put his fist out to say, are we back together, kind of like that. But the other guys had different plans, and they were like, oh, the Shield are back together, just for a short time, just for this one time only. And then they didn't really say if any. I think they'll announce that on Raw, what it felt like to get back together again. But I do see the Shield getting back. Maybe not now, maybe not this month or whatever, but I do see the Shield getting back together because it makes sense for Seth Rollins to have that kind of backup when he eventually faces Brock Lesnar, if that is what they have planned. It could even be another fatal 4-way with Brock Lesnar versus Reigns I'm sorry, obviously Reigns retained here. That's why I want to go ahead and say, Reigns retained here. It was an awesome back and forth match. Back and forth between the guys. One would hit this guy, the other would hit him, he would hit him. They just did a really good job on that part of the match. But it eventually came down to Seth Rollins actually hitting the pedigree on Randy Orton and getting the pin to retain. But like I said, I could see the Shield getting back together, so they have that kind of unity. So when they go to face Lesnar, they could the belt will be in the Shield's hands regardless of who actually wins it. But right now I could see that, because right now Lesnar is a force to be reckoned with, and I don't think any one person alone on the roster can just go out and beat him right now. So I could see that the Shield, Randy Orton's always been the brains of the operation, so I could see him actually saying, he had this planned for months, for him to be the one to get the belt off of Lesnar, and this is the way he did it, was to do it from the inside and then get back together with the Shield to take the belt from Lesnar or whatever, or keep the belt from him, whatever. But yep, that was my review of WWE Payback 2015. Don't worry, I will be reviewing. I probably will not review Raw tomorrow, but I probably will review. No, not probably. I will review NXT Takeover. Something or other with Kevin Owens fighting Sami Zayn for the belt. I will review that, and I will also review the Elimination Chamber match, which has two matches. Which one is for the vacant Intercontinental Championship, and the second one is their tag team matches, first ever tag team Elimination Chamber match. I guess they'll talk more about that tomorrow on Raw, and like I said, hope you enjoyed me rambling out here, and I'll see you guys on my next video, which will probably be my well, no, actually tomorrow on Tuesday I'll have something special for you guys. The Witcher comes out. I'll probably open that on camera, not an unboxing, but just to follow up to my I'm Getting the Witcher, Are You? So we'll probably just be a special video on Tuesday. Take care. Thanks for watching my video, and have a good day.